Hello guys, how are you today? I hope you are in good condition and always happy. Thank you for clicking this video because this video is so important and helpful to you. Why? Because this video discusses tips and tricks in TOEFL IBT test. Before that, let us introduce ourselves first. My name is Khofifah Eka Zaini and my friend Mila Melindra Trini. First of all, we must know the history of TOEFL IBT first. The historical fact of the day, the TOEFL test began in 1964 and has been taken for over 27 million people. TOEFL IBT made by ATS, which is a non-profit. And do you know why most people want to take a TOEFL test? Because it's requirement to enter university, to get a degree, to enter master, and to get a job. The IBT or internet-based test is doing on a computer. The skill measured in the TOEFL IBT test are reading, listening, writing, and speaking. And the next one that you must know is TOEFL IBT more difficult than the other tests. Yes, because it takes a long time, that is 4 hours, and the question also more than the other. And the test is very difficult because it lasts about 2 to 6 minutes with a lot of information that we'll have to process. The reading test also have more than 700 words in the text. In addition, we have to write an essay. The first tips is TOEFL IBT Preparation Listening Test Question Type 1 to 3. The first is Type 1. This content question. The gist of the lecture might be expressed explicitly or implicitly. This might require you to begin a session on synthesizing information from what you hear. What problem does the mind have? What is the lecture mainly about? What are the speakers mainly discussing? And then the tips is use your note and eliminate choices that don't fit. And the trick, you are not only listening to the passage, but you must combine with your understanding. The second is Type 2 Gist Purpose Question. This type of question are more likely to occur in conversation than in lecture. What does the student visit the professor? What does the professor explain? What does the student visit the registrar's office? And then the tips is identify the original reason the students went to the professor's office. Many times, understanding the student's problem will help you solve the question. And the type 3 is detailed question. Require you to understand and remember explicit details or facts from a lecture or conversation. In these 3 types, you will find the multiple choice question that might have one answer or 2 answers. It is about well, you have to screenshot this question and then listen to the speaker well, and don't forget to take a note to answer the question. Okay, let's get started.
Hi, Elizabeth.
Hey, Coach. I just thought I'd stop by to see what I missed while I was gone.
Well, we've been working real hard on our plan for the next game. I've asked Susan to go over it with you before practice this afternoon, so you'll know what we're doing.
Okay.
By the way, how did your brother's wedding go?
Oh, it was beautiful. And the whole family was there. I saw aunts and uncles and cousins I hadn't seen in years.
So it was worth the trip.
Oh, definitely. I'm sorry I had to miss practice, though. I feel bad about that.
Family's very important.
Yep. Okay, I guess I'll see you this afternoon at practice then.
Just a minute. There are a couple of other things I need to tell you.
Oh, okay.
First, everybody's getting a new team jacket.
Wow, how'd that happen?
A woman who played here about 25 years ago came through town a few weeks ago and saw a game and said she wanted to do something for the team, so...
So she's buying us new jackets?
Yep.
Wow, that's really nice of her.
Yes, it is. It's great that former players still care so much about our school and our basketball program. Anyway, you need to fill out an order form. I'll give it to you now so you can bring it back this afternoon. I've got the forms from the other players, so as soon as I get yours, we can order. Maybe we'll have the jackets by the next game.
Okay.
Great. And the next thing is, Mary's transferring to another college next week. So we'll need someone to take over her role as captain for the second half of the season. And the other players unanimously picked you to take over as captain when Mary leaves.
Wow. I saw everybody this morning and nobody said a word.
They wanted me to tell you. So, do you accept?
Of course.
Okay, you must have prepared the answer. Go ahead. Okay, if your answer is C, your answer is correct. And then the next question is, let's get started.
Okay, I guess I'll see you this afternoon at practice then.
Just a minute. There are a couple of other things I need to tell you.
Oh, okay.
First, everybody's getting a new team jacket.
Wow, how'd that happen?
A woman who played here about 25 years ago came through town a few weeks ago and saw a game and said she wanted to do something for the team, so...
So she's buying us new jackets?
Yep.
Wow, that's really nice of her.
You must have prepared the answer. Go ahead. Okay, if your answer is C, your answer is correct.
The next tips is understanding organization questions and relationship between ideas. In these tips, you must know how to recognize these tips with understanding some typically question phrased as follows. Then, we will explain one by one about how to understand the organization questions with common question and how to understand the organization with possible questions. The first one is understand organization with common questions. The next one is understand organization with possible questions. You must master these questions. Please remember, the K is organized. And for the strategies, the first strategy is, when listening, think of how the points are organized. The second strategy is take notes or use bullet points, especially for details. Please remember, if you are asked to organize, you must know how the speaker display the information with identification this aspect. The first one is comparison, description, and contrast. The next one is there are some questions K that you must master. Understand relationship. In this part, the answer usually is not stated directly, so we are asked to look for things that are not visible but there. The tricks are you must draw conclusions, make inference, and predict an outcome. Well, for the understand relationship in possible questions, the statements are not stated directly. There are two questions that will be appearance. And the strategy is, you must to conclude everything the speaker said. Now, we will explain about pragmatic understanding. Pragmatic understanding is more subtle understanding of spoken English. The function is the pragmatic understanding is aims in saying something, or it's meant why the speaker says something. And the speaker's stage is attitude toward a particular subject or speaker's feeling about a particular topic. Let's move to the understanding the function. It doesn't deal with the meaning of the words the speaker say, but the information implied by how the speakers say them. Many times the speaker uses slangs, idioms, or say things that are not directly relevant to what the question asked. Next, for the understand the function in possible reasons such as apologize, explain, clarify a point, change a topic, indicate a change of opinion, we must identify these questions. Well, for the strategies are listen carefully and think of why the speaker said something.
And then usually the answer option to infinitive, to make a point about blah 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 blah, to give example of blah 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 blah, to ask about blah 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 blah, to suggest that blah 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 blah, and so on. And then how to identify the question type are commonly worded like the following. And then the trick are and then understanding speaker's stance and possible feeling, positive or negative, happy or sad, impressed or unimpressed, enthusiastic or bored, doubtful or certain. And there are two questions that will be variants are and then the strategy is listen to what is said in the context and how it is said and draw a conclusion.
Well, take a picture of this question, please. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll play the audio now, then you must listen and take notes. Ready? Let's get started.
So now Cuff arrives. Cuff is the man who's coming to solve the mystery. And again, he has a lot of the characteristics that future detectives throughout the history of this genre will have. He's eccentric. He has a hobby that he's obsessive about. In this case, it's the love of roses. He's a fanatic about the breeding of roses. And here, think of Nero Wolfe and his orchids, Sherlock Holmes and his violin. A lot of those later classic detective heroes have this kind of outside interest that they go to as a kind of antidote to the evil and misery they encounter in their daily lives. Now, these detective heroes, they have this characteristic of being smart, incredibly smart, but of not appearing to be smart. And most importantly, from a kind of existential point of view, these detectives see things that other people do not see. And that's why the detective is such an important figure, I think, in our modern imagination. In the case of the Moonstone, I don't want to say too much here and spoil it for you, but the clue that's key to the solving of the crime is a smeared bit of paint in a doorway. Of course, the regular police have missed this paint smear or made some sort of unwarranted assumption about it. Cuff sees this smear of paint, this paint, the place where the paint is smeared, and realizes that from this one smear of paint, you can actually deduce the whole situation, the whole world. And that's what the hero in a detective novel like this brings to it that the other characters don't. It's this ability to see meaning where others see no meaning, and to bring order to where it seems there is no order.
Okay, for the question is, why does the speaker mentions a smeared bit of a paint in a doorway in the Moonstone? Let's look at the answer choice one at a time. Choice A can be ruled out because the professor directly states that noticing the smeared paints is the key to solving the crime, not a mistake. For option B to be correct, there would have been a pattern of discussing details for the crime scene. But the smeared paint is the only visual detail from the crime scene that is mentioned. So, option B is not correct. Option C is the best answer because the professor talks about hero detectives in mystery novels and the characteristics they have in common. The professor indicates that there is a pattern when he says that detectives see things that other people do not see. And for option D can be eliminated because the professor states that the police officer didn't notice the smeared paint. So, the answer is C.
Okay guys, that's all. And thank you for watching this video. Bye.